Cleanup continues at pit in. You saw the Bobcat. I don't think the Bobcat is going to get out on the track, but they're going to try and get that mess cleaned up. A couple of cars are going to have to go to the back of the field on the restart, one of them being third place in the championship points. Reed Sorensen came in when the pits were closed. Also going back to the back, too fast, exiting the 66 of Stephen Wallace. Now, he was 12th before the green flag stops began. The 62, his teammate of Michael Annett, will get the lucky dog, and that should give us a total now of 12 cars on the lead lap. And you're wondering who is the race leader? Well, it's Carl Edwards, and then Brad Keselowski, Casey Kane.
Well, you see Reed Sorensen, he is being shown second right behind Carl Edwards. He'll have to go to the back.
Yeah.
He just couldn't quite wait out opening up the pit road. He probably low on fuel and didn't want to take a chance on running it out of fuel.
With 36 laps to go, everybody should definitely be able to go the distance. We've seen a run of what was over 66 laps of green flag before the first round started there, or this last round of stops. So tires should not be an issue.
No, it shouldn't be. Just a short run to the end. You see all they've got here the last 35 laps or so.
I saw Kenny Wallace there. It's not been the kind of day he wanted. He is one lap down in 16th position. There is Elliott Sadler. And Sadler is one lap down, shown in 17th.
Yeah, he's going to be taking the wave around here, and that's what's got him the one lap down. But big change up in the points here now with that happening.
All right, let's check in on Trevor Bayne's situation. He's shown in 7th place right now. What are you hearing, Dave?
Here's what we were hearing just a few moments ago from Trevor, Marty.
What should the fuel pressure be right now? Should be around 8 or 9 right now. It says 7 right now, but it's not blinking. Okay, it's going back up, I think. I don't know, it keeps moving. Yeah, 10-4, it's going to. We just got to have that 7 pounds or so to keep it running.
When Brian Scott hit the barrels and the caution came out, he was very low on fuel. They thought they were going to have to put some in through the cowl. They did not. They got the pressure in by putting fuel in by way of the tanks. For more on this situation, let's go to Tim Brewer.
Thanks, guys. We run a mechanical fuel pump. It's actually driven off of a cable at the back of the car. But as the fuel comes up through the 15 feet of fuel line, right here at the carburetor, we have a regulator. And what we can do, we can control the fuel pressure that's put to the carburetor. Some guys like it about 7.5 pounds. Some guys run as much as 9 pounds. But it's regulated right here. Guys?
From the Craftsman Tech Garage, Tim Brewer updating us in his usual good fashion.
Yeah, that 7 pounds sounds about right to me. Listening to that transmission from Trevor, that might have been the first time he's actually looked at that gauge.
Well, you heard the guys talking about the wave arounds. We're actually trying to get the exact count, but there is going to be quite a few of them. It looks like there'll be at least 11 when they finally get to go, and here it comes now. And those that are going to be a lap down include, there you see the number 2 car of Elliott Sadler, so he will be one of those getting back on the lead lap. And there is your race leader, Carl Edwards. He has led 145 of the 166 that we have completed. So of the 11 wave arounds, the 20 of Ryan Truex, the 11 of Brian Scott, the 31 of Justin Allgaier will all be back on the lead lap.
Yeah, the 2 car of Elliott Sadler will still be 1 lap down.
Correct. I wanted to bring that up to date because scoring showed him 1, but then again, they had just crossed the start and finish line.
Well, it's kind of luck of the draw is when you make that stop and how you get called to.
Well, he had almost lost a lap on the track. If not, he was right in front of the leader. When he came down pit road, he basically lost a lap there and then lost another one.
Worst part about it is he's not in the lucky dog position either.
Well, they have to race his way into that spot.
Okay, it's Edwards, Keselowski, Sorensen, Kane, and Boyer. That is your top 5. Total of 12 cars on the lead lap. Green flag's in the air, and we're racing again at Dover. Now Sorensen is shown out right there, and we were told he was going to have to go to the back, so we'll have to wait and see what we're getting word from NASCAR. We'll get you an update as soon as we get word from them.
There's no doubt what he came down pit road early.
Yeah, he did pit early. He pitted before pit road was actually open.
On board with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He's got his hands full with the 33 of Clint Boyer.
If Keselowski can hold close here to Carl Edwards, nobody's really been able to stay too close on these restarts to him. Clint Boyer trying to make his way back up there.
They're all going under the 32 of Reed Sorensen. On board with Trevor Bayne. He's running in 7th. Still waiting from NASCAR officials as to what is going to happen to this 32 car. Meanwhile, up front, there goes your race leader, Carl Edwards. Brad Keselowski in 2nd spot. Does this surprise you? Talking to each of them before qualifying today, Carl said Brad had the best car. Brad said Carl had the best car.
Well, Carl has had the best car today during the race, but the 22 car has been struggling some. And I think this last pit stop, they made another adjustment. Looks like he's a lot better.
Yeah, and I think maybe they adjusted their car from that 2-tire stop, and that might have got them off on that last run. We see Ricky Stenhouse, our points leader here. He's looking for really a big day in the points right here. I know he wants to continue to go forward, but the main thing he should do is finish these last 30 laps with no problems.
Well, and right now he would have a 24-point lead over 2nd place, Elliott Sadler, based on where they're running.
Yeah, he's got Elliott Sadler trapped 1 lap down. He's out there in free traffic. No cars around him much in the top 5, so all he needs to do is just run these last 29 laps out.
And again, we're still waiting for official word from NASCAR about what they're going to do with that 32 car. Sorensen right now shown in 7th position with Trevor Bayne right in front of him. Whoa, and Mike Wallace.
Uh-oh, that's a broken track bar mount right there. That's what I was talking. This track is just so hard on suspension parts. It's like that track bar bracket broke. Vince?
I'm in the garage. I'm going to the garage area. It's broke. You probably don't even...
Okay, so you heard him there that he acknowledged it's broke. He's going to go right to the garage area. He's running 27th. No caution on the racetrack. He was able to keep everything down on the apron. It allows us to stay green with now 27 laps to go. The 11 of Brian Scott, who brought out our last of 4 cautions. Trying to get around the 62 of Michael Annett. That is for 10th position. He was one of the cars that was able to get back on the lead lap.
Yeah, that was a big break for Michael Annett, the way that caution flag flew.
Brian Scott, just kind of another day is what the 2011 season has been like. A lot of competitive days that for one reason or another, and this time it was a mistake by the driver that has kept them from really having solid runs and finishes.
Justin Allgaier trying to force something right here.
We're still waiting for official word from NASCAR as to whether or not they're going to deal with the 32 now or after the race.
Yeah, I just wonder what the issue is. I mean, it was clear that he pitted before the pit road was open.
He's shown in 7th position. Vince, what are you hearing?
Well, guys, the 32 of Reed Sorensen had to come onto pit road after the yellow had already come out because he was sputtering on the backstretch and was going to run out of fuel. But Trent Owens, the crew chief, completely expected to be sent to the back of the pack. But when they didn't tell him to go to the back, they lined up right where they were on track, and that's where they restarted.
So they're saying they were not told by NASCAR to go to the rear, and therefore they shouldn't.
Well, I wouldn't go back there either till they told me.
Well, we'll wait to see what happens here from the NASCAR side of things. And as we check in on this action going for 10th, as you've got Allgaier, Annett, and Scott.
Now, Justin Allgaier in that 31 car has been in the top 10 much of the day, and he's had a pretty fast race car.
Side by side, Ryan in the 11, Michael in the 62, and Jamie McMurray saying, I'd like to play with this, but McMurray, remember, is a lap down in 18th position. It's not been a great day for Junior Motorsports because Almirola also having a bit of a struggle today. Let's get an update on the 11. Vince?
The good news when Brian Scott hit that pit entry and all those sand barrels is the fact that he did not damage the splitter. And it did push in that right front, right around the headlight area, but they didn't damage the splitter, and they really felt like the damage was mostly cosmetic, and it wasn't going to hurt them nearly as much as as what you might think. So rallying here to try to get a top 10 for Brian Scott, and that'd be a big salvage, guys.
Could have been a lot worse, that's for sure. He's still got his hands full side by side. Michael Annett is not surrendering that position.
Now, you have to believe that it is affecting the car. I mean, if you run 170 miles an hour here, yeah, the aero will take effect, obviously. So you have to think that it's maybe not driving quite as good as what it was.
Yeah, I'm like Marty, though. That's pretty good that he can run as fast as he's running now after hitting those barrels, because it looked like it was going to be really bad. There's Chad Knaus, Steve Letarte.
Oh, what's going on there, Jamie Little?
Well, I'll tell you, crew chief's work is never done. You see Chad Knaus walking there, just leaving the Cup garage, and he has made the walk from one end of pit road all the way to the other, and he's looking at tires. I think now the camera's on, he's not looking at them any longer, but he's doing a little investigating just to see how the tire wear has been in our race. Of course, all eyes going to be on the 48 tomorrow, sitting 10th in points, the lowest they've ever been in the chase, and of course this weekend being the third race of the chase. Marty?
And of course, that team needs a big bounce back, and everybody knows it. So Chad doing his homework. Meanwhile, out on the track, there is your race leader, Carl Edwards. There's the gap between first and second, between he and Brad Keselowski. 17 laps to go. For more on that 60 car, let's check in with Dave Burns.
Well, Marty, as crew chief told me, one of the reasons why Carl is so good here, he's already won here twice in the Nationwide Series, is because he drives that car, quote-unquote, off the right rear. He says he likes the feeling just a little bit rolled over on the right rear tire. He says Carl is so connected from the right rear to the steering wheel. He said it should be tight when you look at the setup on paper, but the way Carl drives it, it's just fast.